Okay, so I completed wrapping the dry floral foam in the jute twine. Now I went ahead and added some of that white rope because I want this to look like a lifesaver since it is a nautical beachy theme. So all I did was I took some white rope. I started from the inside of the floral foam, and then I decided how many rows I wanted to make, or how wide I wanted to make my white rope. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this off, and then we will move on to our next step. Okay, so now the next thing I did was I cut another piece of rope. You could just measure around your floral foam and then leave extra. And all I did was I just glued the one end of the rope to one of the white pieces here, and I left a little bit of slack and then glued it to the next one. Did the same thing again, left some slack, glued it to the next one, left some slack, glued it to the next one. We're just trying to make this look like a real lifesaver. So now I'm just going to finish this off by gluing it where I started and then cutting that extra piece off, and then we will move on to our next step. Okay, so I have allowed the mirror to dry for some hours now, and before I go ahead and put on my braided jute twine, I'm actually going to cover the back of the mirror with our Chalk It Up chalk paint from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to go ahead, apply 2 to 3 coats and let that dry. Okay, so now I put about 2 to 3 coats on the back of the mirror. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my jute twine rope. Now I already made mine, but this is a very simple thing. Usually I do this whenever I have jute twine from the Dollar Tree or even Dollarama, and I want something a little bit thicker, but I only have the rolls that I purchased from there. So I just take 3 even strands, I tie a knot at the top, braid the rope, and then tie a knot at the bottom. And this way I have a bigger area that I can cover, and I also think that it gives it a really nice finish to a decor piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hot glue, and this will be the top of the lifesaver, so I want to start it at the very top. And then I will continue gluing this all the way around until I have come to the top again, and then we will move on to our next step. Okay, so as you can see, I have glued on my jute twine rope all the way around the mirror. I started at the top and then finished at the top. So then to hide those knots, I just went ahead and took my stainless steel clip and I applied some E6000 glue and then a little bit of hot glue, and then just pressed that over those knots. And I think it turned out really cute. So now we will grab our stencil and work on the next step. Okay, so as you can see, I finished stenciling Jesus Saves on the Lifesaver, and I have a feeling that my friend is just going to love it because it is very dear to her heart as it is to mine. So the last thing I have to do now to complete this DIY is to actually glue the Lifesaver to the very top of the jewelry stand. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some E6000 glue and hot glue to that top rolling pin, and then I'm going to place my Lifesaver on top of that and then just secure that in place and let that dry overnight. Now in the morning, once everything has bonded together very well, I'm going to take my jewelry and display it on the jewelry stand to show you what it would look like with all the jewelry in place. I was so happy to do this DIY, and happy enough that I'm going to actually make one for myself because I love how it turned out that much. I really hope that you all enjoyed this DIY as well. Okay everyone, so here is the final jewelry stand, Nautical Beachy jewelry stand, completed. And I absolutely love how this came out. I have a ton of jewelry on here. I did not count all the pieces, but there is a lot of jewelry on this jewelry stand. So as you can see, the seashells were to serve two purposes. One, it was for decor to give this piece a beachy, nautical looking theme. But I also used it to actually display some of my jewelry. So I just put in some rings, some earring studs, and I think that it turned out beautiful. So wherever I have the seashells, I also have jewelry inside. And I just absolutely love it. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this piece around to show you the back and a little idea that I came up with to display yet even more jewelry. So just one moment. Okay, so I turned the piece around, and what I did was I utilized the clip that I glued to the back of the Lifesaver. And what I did was I made a lifeguard chair out of popsicle sticks. And it really doesn't do it justice on the camera, but it is so, so darling. And what I did with that is I used it for extra storage in hanging earrings, displaying watches, and I think it turned out so neat. I really, really love how I incorporated that into this Beachy nautical jewelry stand piece. I think it just turned out great. Okay guys, well that sums it up for this DIY. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I tried to do something a little bit different with a jewelry stand, and I absolutely love this piece. I was going to make one for myself in the farmhouse theme, but I'm actually loving this nautical beachy theme. It turned out, I think, really fantastic. Not only does it look great, but it also stores a ton of jewelry, which is up my alley. So if you did enjoy this DIY, and I really hope you did, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always guys, take care, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.